Chapter 35 The Blue Being. With Shruti and I alone before the Blue Being, it was clear there was a spiritual being above the world who seemed to pull at all the strings. As we followed him high up to his lotus throne, I wondered what was really in my control as I rested on Shruti's shoulder in the form of a spiritual bird. Whatever had happened, I myself was clueless. Can I ask a question? When you send down messages, we in the material world translate them and call them revelations. So if someone says that we should have faith in the process, then what's the real meaning of such instructions? Shruti, whose true home was in the Pure Lands, smiled, then spoke in calm reflection.
Our messages are vibrations of guidance or warnings. Such a revelation is that which is heard, and so we call it Shruti. But when it is remembered or repeated, we would call that Smriti,
said Shruti. What's the difference? Because if a revelation is that which is heard, then why does it matter if it's heard or remembered?
Those who hear it directly are intimately connected to God's Word, while those who are told about it must use words to interpret as their body, mind, and spirit is still in the material world. Hence the reason there is so much debate upon past scripture. When a prophet gets a direct message, it is that which they have heard. But as the message gets passed around in the material world, the translations become words into ways that the lessons or revelations can be remembered. The translations become lessons and ideas that can be remembered. Yet there is nothing like hearing it firsthand or experiencing it. And so we could call this direct experience an aspect of clairvoyance. In such books, precious and holy as they may be, they are like a finger pointing at the moon. They can only give you direction, but it is up to us to take our soul upon that divine journey. Each of us must find the path through our choices, but everyone's karmic predicament means each soul stands in a different spot. Their revelation helps our soul move forward. Otherwise, we risk the brilliance of our soul getting stuck in the earthly world and lost,
said Shruti. There was no fear here, but still I was cautious as I heard this, because I realized I was quite a young soul in the presence of such greatness. How come not everyone can hear that which is heard? Would it be better to allow everyone to receive the divine words? And so Shruti smiled bigger than before.
We don't withhold anything from anyone, but you must be willing to tune into that which is heard. Learn from us, and you can even speak the language of the flowers. The spiritual beings need not speak with words. Words are for that which is remembered, but rather, when you talk with plants, you speak with the presence of our spirit. The real question I have for all people is, when will you hear all of it? Only when your mind is in a state of peace can you hear what us divine beings whisper through the silence,
said Shruti. As my eyes scanned the giant garden which sprouted in the Pure Land, I realized how each flower was a divine being. Yet since I came from the material world, I was still caught on thinking, teaching needed words. All of the flowers listened. All of the spirit was aware. This Pure Land was a symphony of vibration, and within this energy is that which is heard. Each blade of grass would wave as the light had given us the spirit of life. It is within the trees, flowers, plants, animals, and minerals, and so that which is heard weaves its way through the threads of consciousness down into humanity, where people emerged as mammals. Observation becomes our inner witness, yet who are we to be aware of this? Oh, when the human mind grows so busy and congested, the real truth of the divine secrets is almost always missed. Yet every so often, a human reconnects with the divine source and becomes that witness. Yet we only understand such a connection in regards to our own perceptions. Such a person could pass down that which is heard through the teachings, or crude words so the instructions are spread to others. From there it becomes that which is remembered. But to sit with all of it, not swayed by the mind, the emotions, but rather to truly be, is the opening into clairvoyance. That would mean that everything which is here and now is truly the pure enlightenment, if only we can get our mind out of the way and become aware of it. Seated in a comfortable posture upon Shruti's shoulder, my wings could fly anywhere in spirit, but I would not depart from her. The pure land may have been formless, as it inspired the formation of the earth, and everything that grew was an expression and image of the divine nature. At first, I wondered how long I'd stay still, but time was irrelevant, because in this space, time was always now. My heart opened deeper than ever before, far bigger than my material life had ever allowed.
Now, as we understand that none of our spirit is different, today we remember how we are all flowers of meditation in the cosmic wilderness,
said Shruti. Nowhere to go, nothing to be. What people think of as heaven is a pure land where our spirit is blissful and free. Yet so many were stuck down on the earth, just out of reach. From this vantage point, I saw how many enlightened beings journey down to help. But due to the ignorance that covers our human form, many do not catch the pure revelations which are heard, since we are covered by layers while guided and even manipulated by that which is remembered. It seems so few are willing to observe the wisdom of the wise, but there were also those who woke up and tuned into that which is heard. Some people might call us crazy or mad for listening to a force beyond words, and I recalled how humanity even crucified great prophets upon trees. The wicked ways were selfish in search of more wealth, more power, and more fame. But why don't we realize how the soul is stuck in the world of suffering, and so it is up to each of us to find a path to get free? Oh, how can we help those in need?
Each of us must have courage and love if we wish to break free from the cycles of hatred, ignorance, and greed. Us spiritual beings have always given assistance to the poor and needy, but the leaders fail to take our warnings seriously. We have tried many times, and still the material world claim how people alone know the rules of the mystery. Humanity thinks the world belongs to them, but they don't realize how these spiritual beings are part of everyone and guide everything. Those leaders of earth would rather destroy the visible nature and worship an invisible God, never realizing that it's all one,
said Shruti. Oh, how I wished the great God could help us, but God was always here and now. Then a moment later, I gazed up when Shruti rose to the high throne over the garden as the light of the sun shone out from the great blue being. Summoned to serve the light, this was that great omniscient dimension some knew as God. But how could anyone believe me if I say what I saw? As soon as I say this, now it is remembered, because it was that which is heard. O Lord, the power, grace, and bliss goes far beyond human words. Shruti rose to his level and embraced him where the two lovers shared a kiss. As I sat upon her shoulder, I found myself an inch away as I pretended to be a stone statue while I waited on the shoulder of Shruti in awakened silence. My wings wouldn't move, and I hoped my feathers were as beautiful as they could be. For this was the union of the god and the goddess, and just before it happened, everyone else had been ordered to leave.
Come here, Shakti. It is time we discuss the secrets of life, which include the nectar of immortality,
said the blue being. Who is Shakti? Does he mean Shruti? I wondered. Their embrace was so pure and divine, and how lucky was I that my gaze rested on the opposite shoulder of this divine being's eyes. God held his wife when they embraced with a mindful dance, and so when lovers reunite, it is pure perfect harmony, as teardrops of joy poured out while I waited in awe with stillness. How lucky was I! I didn't deserve this beautiful gift, and it was all perfect. As I poked my head around Shruti's face, I saw God offer her cheek yet another kiss. Then again their lips met as my awareness blushed when I imploded into bliss. As a mere witness, I was intoxicated by the proximity of divine union. My ultimate wish was completed, that I may become possessed by the divine will, and so my spirit had become aware that God knows the secrets of our infinite nature. After their divine dance, my life had changed. The impossible was possible after all, and so I saw that God was the union within all form which creation was made, and that is the power of our infinite God. Now the blue being closed his eyes and sat upon the throne, while Shruti massaged his feet as she sat beside his toes. Then the blue being said,
As I reveal this instruction, I will close my eyes in contemplation, and since I wish to know that you are listening, all that I ask is you simply hum. When I hear you hum, then I will continue on with this revelation.
And so the divine instruction began. This was that which is heard. And as I lived in the spirit of an intuitive parrot, I knew I could mimic this teaching in the future by repeating the exact same words, and then it could get passed along as that which is remembered. First, he spoke of the secret in the flowers. It was the nectar transferred between pollen and bees. As the blue being revealed the truth, I heard clues about secrets as to how it was possible that a human could manifest the nectar of immortality. It was simple yet complex. It was near and far, above, below, and in the middle. The secret was within the here and now. Then after some time, I noticed that Shruti drifted to sleep, for our journey had been long, and just as the great blue being waited to hear Shruti's hum, he was about to open his eyes, when I, as her parrot, mimicked the sound as my own tone spoke. Om, I said. The great blue being almost opened his eyes, but instead he took a deep breath while the goddess rested. Why, I was far too curious to let him stop this instruction. And so the blue being continued.
Now there comes a time when each soul makes a choice. This choice is a commitment that leads a soul in one of two directions. Earth is one planet where such a commitment is made. Each person can choose to become angelic or demonic. So please hum if you understand this,
said the blue being. Om, I said.
This choice is given through the soul's free will, and yet beyond each choice, a person has control as to how their life comes to fruition. We divine beings do not interfere with their free will, but as divine beings, we can offer support and guidance. When a human being chants or sings to us, or maybe they will give an offering through their hardship, sacrifice, devotion, prayer, or service. Then we can assist, but still, it is not up to us to dominate human affairs. This choice and commitment within humanity is important, and that is the reason life upon the earth matters so much. And so it is the sum of all experience that ripples out and affects the entire universe. Each person is responsible for their actions. Each person reaps and sows the rewards of however they act alone. This choice is up to each person as an individual, and so each person is not free from their own choice's impact,
said the blue being. But what choice? I wondered.
Yes, the choice. By making the choice, a living being's soul can become freed. To begin, we could examine how people may take what they want out of life, rather than only take what they need. Every choice changes a person, and every choice is a reflection of who we are within. All beings are children of God, but some choose not to act on behalf of all beings, and so they retreat from God and wander oh so far into selfishness. Others can become selfless, and these beings are not attached to the fruit of their actions. Rather, they offer up their lives to benefit all others, and because they live to relieve the suffering of the world, we know them as angels, and so I call them my devas. The devas are my greatest followers. These devotees become my stars who illuminate the darkest nights. And when the wickedness rises to overtake the entire earth, it is my devas who remain grounded and stand firm for what is true, pure, and right. On the other hand, it is the demons, or the asuras, who dominate and oppress. They treat life like a game that they seek to win, and so they are obsessed with their own selfish progress. Those demons slip into their lower nature. They hurt others as they care about wealth, power, and are overtaken by greed. They chase their selfish desires, and they take far more than one person could need. And so the time has come. Such selfishness must be destroyed. And so the only choice left is for humanity to accept unity. Anyone who becomes a demon is lost, while those who come together will be freed. All people of all nations, all creeds, and all races have a choice to make. They will either choose unity, or they will choose to follow the deceiver into insanity. The people of Earth must choose to follow my angelic devas, or they will be persuaded by the deceiver of man, who lies to the world as he seeks control, power, and dominion,
said the blue being.
Long ago, I gave these instructions to the devas, which led to the churning of the ocean as it was carried on through mythology. This was represented by a collaborative effort between the angels and the demons to churn the ocean in order to attain the Amrita, which is the nectar of immortality. With the angels on one side and the demons upon the other, the goal was initially united by a curse, and so all beings sought immortality to get hold of my Amrita. They used Mount Mandara as a churning rod and the great serpent, Vasuki, as a rope. This pressure pushed upon the earth when the great mountain began to sink, which prompted me to incarnate on earth as a great tortoise because humanity needed support. As the process continued, the churning of the ocean produced many treasures and ultimately released the immortal nectar. Of course, the demons attempted to seize the Amrita, and so this entire story is symbolic of the struggles within humanity. Yet the devas secured the nectar, and they drank all except for the last drop. That's when there was one demon who pretended to be a deva, and so it was the deceiver who got a tiny taste of the immortality. After I heard of this mistake, I cut him in half. His upper half is called Rahu, while his lower half is called Ketu. He exists on the earth as the deceiver, and the reason he lives on is so that humanity can understand the difference between that which is false and that which is true. Rahu is what the deceiver has grown into, and this is his shadowy nature, as he has gone on to attract many followers, as he will do anything to secure more money, fame, and power. This deceiver will trick people to wear a mark upon their head, and so I have marked his right hand with a bruise. The deceiver will also be wounded upon his head, from which he will deceive the people, as they find the wound leaves not even a blemish. The deceiver stole a single drop of the nectar of immortality, but soon we shall see how only the eternal goodness of divine truth does not perish,
said the blue being. Om, I told him.
All choices have a consequence, and that which was stolen from me will be paid back in full. The deceiver makes the people believe that he is sent by God to control the world, but the truth is that anyone who drinks the nectar of immortality is ultimately in service to support the divinity of all souls. The deceiver is unaware of what comes next, and so he creates a system where his followers benefit as they can buy and sell. All those who do not follow the deceiver will be excluded, but fear not. Now I call forth our angels,
said the blue being. Om.
What most people fail to realize is that the nature of our soul is eternal, and so it is the choices we make that echo on forever. A great change is upon us, and so my angels will bring forth the new birth on earth, so that the divine realization is universal. This change will affect all three worlds, and so this will proceed with a great choice on behalf of each person's actions. Long ago, the angels and the demons came together to churn the nectar of immortality, and now we prepare for fruition,
said the blue being. Om.
Change is upon us, and change is not bad. If a deceiver lies to the people for his own selfish interests, as he may believe he is all-powerful, we must not forget the facts. The truth of death is also eternal. All things must end, so that we can be reborn. And so I call upon you, Shakti, so that the people may be warned. Destroy the wickedness and assume your terrible form,
said the blue being. Huh?
So many people want to live forever. They seem to crave eternal life. But the truth is that life on earth is followed by death, and this process is perfect as all is right. Creation, manifestation, and dissolution all go together. Yet the people seem to resist the dissolution because they don't want things to end, but rather they want it their way forever. But if a person resists the dissolution, then they also resist creation. There must be a culmination, for if someone objects to their ending, then they are obstructing their own new beginning. What we have before us would be called an ending, but nothing is final, so there should be no fear for the old ways' cessation. It has been arranged by the divine, and so I look to you, Mahashakti, to bring forth a new beginning through this great dismantling,
said the blue being. Then upon its completion, the great blue being ended with a final breath. But when he opened his eyes, the blue being saw Shruti asleep. Meanwhile, it was I, the spiritual parrot, who stared back.
"What's this? Did you eavesdrop?"
asked the blue being. I nodded in service of the truth as I waited for the decision upon my fate in silence. Without words, he exchanged a certain gaze from a hidden third eye, which resembled extreme change. Then, for the first time, I saw how this great blue being raised one of his many arms and revealed a weapon, as if he was ready to take my life, when I sensed he felt betrayed. And I cried as he chased me away as I flew across the garden to escape. He could kill me for what I had just witnessed, but I didn't want to be eavesdropping. What's wrong with a simple soul listening? They say that heaven is like a great garden, and thank God they were right. Mind you, it was all formless space, but I found the perfect hiding spot. Then after some time, I caught my breath before I heard Shruti calling out when I had to fly back. Why, it felt like my soul was attached to her by a string, and so without thinking, I flew to her shoulder. But there was that great blue being who stood beside her, for this was her true lover. I thought we had something special, I whispered to her. Shruti smiled.
And what will you do with this wondrous life of yours?
A great predicament set in while sadness pulled at my heart. It seemed that no matter how hard I tried to do the right thing, throughout my entire life, something would happen that caused it to fall apart. I set good intentions, and I tried to live well, but how come I arrived in heaven only to feel as if I was about to be sentenced to hell? Right when I was about to explain why I hummed along, I watched the great blue being increase in size when infinite hands stretched everywhere as he wore infinite faces. He was everyone and in everything, and so my beak dropped open as the great blue being radiated while many suns were illuminated. A moment later, he pulled a set of strings, and there I felt him controlling my wings. This man was like a puppeteer or a grand narrator, and now I did not know what to think.
"What do you have to say for yourself?"
asked the great blue being. I gulped. Any advice before I'm pulverized? I whispered in Shruti's ear.
Give him an offering, for he has the power to relieve suffering,
She said. Sir, divine being and holy God, the great omniscient dimension and blue being, it seems I found my way into quite the conundrum. But don't worry, your secrets are safe with me. I will keep all that I've heard buried in my heart so that it's never repeated. On top of that, I come with an offering. This is all I have left. Take this, as I've worked to turn my mind into purified gold. I set the gold before his feet and bowed to the great blue one. After a few moments, I took a step back and awaited what I thought was certain punishment.
"Oh, isn't this so auspicious? You give me the pure gold of your mind? Well, I know just what I'll do with this,"
said the blue being. Yes, it's all yours. Do whatever you like with it.
"I accept your offering with a reverent bow. But now I have a question for you. Which would you prefer? Would you rather have all the world's money, all the world's armies, and all the world's power? Or would you prefer that I stand with you on the battlefield?"
asked the blue being. While I wasn't thinking much about the world, and I loved how this divine being changed his tone, my heart felt a call for devotion. And if the goddess was my perch, then this man's divinity was my home. I choose you. I choose God. Within an instant, his innumerable arms came together and crafted the gold into a great golden chain, which appeared to have infinite length. One of his arms held one end, while the opposite side held an opened link that he cuffed around my leg.
I will always be aware of wherever you go, since you are here to listen. And with this golden chain, I vow to stay connected to you as you bring it into fruition. Repeat all that you have heard and share it with those for the good of our soul left upon the earth. And now you are part of our mission,
said the blue being. Another day, another chain. With or without the gold of a purified mind, it seemed I barely had words to explain. Meanwhile, Shruti wasn't fazed at all. But still, I wondered how this great blue being pulled all the strings, and so I couldn't help but think that he had lured me here as if I'd been called. What now?
Since you have heard my profound instruction, and you know the secrets to produce the nectar of immortality, I send you back into the world with this golden chain link, so that you are devoted to divinity. You are called to do this with the utmost integrity and intensity, and you are called to work on behalf of divinity diligently. Do not fear going the right or wrong way, as you will feel me tug upon the chain to redirect you gently. But if you try to escape or run away, know that I will not let go, and I may even tug forcefully where you encounter a disruption within reality,
said the blue being. And what about the secrets of the nectar of immortality?
Bring it forth. It is time for fruition. And that is why you must return this wisdom and share it with everyone, both the devas and the demons, who are your fellow earthlings. The choice we have is to make a commitment, and those who are demons will follow the kings of the earth. But those who are wise, my angels, will be devoted to the divinity within the heart of all beings,
he said. Can you tell us the truth about life?
Awaken to the knowledge that God is the Self. Let all of your actions be guided by God. Surrender your life in service of God, and let your heart be filled with peace. Fulfill your duty and take up this abode with the holiest saints, for this is the pure land of sages whose lives are devoted to God. Learn by their conduct to live as you must, to see only one in this vast universe. O noble Surya, your sight must be pure, to see only God in the manifold world. Such vision is wisdom that sets the soul free. See only one consciousness incessantly. By seeing in all men and women the spirit divine, the notion of others abandons the mind. Realize this one truth, and your heart will be free from anger, hatred, and mean jealousy. That man and woman who has seen God sees God everywhere. Worship the Self in all hearts as one's own. This is the best mode of worship indeed, to treat all as God in one's thought, word, and deed. Such is the wisdom I pass on to you, by which in this life you may learn to be free and lose all attachments to things passing by, to know your true self as immortality,
said the blue being. And what is our life's purpose?
The supreme duty for all of humanity is that we attain transcendental loving service to God. Such service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted by selfishness, and so you are called to open your heart to eternal love and spread our awareness. Through devotional service, you are in service of all beings, and so a true follower of God is defined as one who feels the suffering of all beings. Even to feel our own suffering is so overwhelming. Yet I am with you, and I will lead us to fruition, said the blue being. His form had changed, yet his essence was the same. He was all attractive, and so I understood how God could have at least 108 names. Whatever he was called, there was a fountain of nectar
which flowed from the wisdom on his lips. Oh, how God enables all men and women to find love and enter into eternal bliss. I bow to that blue one who exists as the one soul of all. He spoke to the glory of the soul, and this was the song of God. May all men and women win freedom by singing this song, for it is that which is heard. And as a parrot, I repeat this so that it can be remembered. And yet, I know that I am just his and her humble messenger. But my Lord, it is so dark for humanity. What hope is left for the world?
It is always darkest just before the dawn. Surrender to me, and all will be accomplished. In the darkest days, our light will emerge. Carry this light and ignite a new way forward. You are called to share that which is heard,
he said. And how will I do that?
Be brave, for it is your time to burn. O Surya, you are my sun, and together you are one ray of the light of my universe. Just as the darkness has its purpose, so does our light. Reveal that which you have heard, for our light will not cease, but each ray keeps the truth alive,
he said. What do you mean burn? One of his many hands reached forward, and with this single palm, he revealed a great fire. This being was all-pervading, and as he touched my soul, the light of wisdom spread everywhere.
I am within you, and now it is time for you to go. Enter back into life, and when it is time, the light of my fire will reveal all that must be exposed,
said the great blue being. Om.